What the Golden State Warriors have managed to pull off recently is truly impressive. The decision to pull a player from the rotation is raising a lot of questions. Could this move be part of a much larger strategy? Are the Warriors genuinely attempting to move him out of the Bay Area entirely? In this video, we'll be diving deep into the recent developments surrounding this player's situation, exploring why this could very well be one of the smartest moves the coach has made. But before we jump into all of that, it's important to note that this channel focuses heavily on the Warriors, providing daily updates and insights into everything happening with the team. Now, let's get into the details of what's going on. A recent report has confirmed that the player in question is no longer a part of the team's rotation, with no exceptions. The decision appears to be firm, and the player has been completely removed from any game time plans for now. This move is backed by a statement from a well-respected observer who has been closely following the team for decades. This individual is known for their critical and honest assessments, which adds a layer of credibility to their perspective. The observer shared their thoughts in a recent podcast episode, which was released this past Monday. Both hosts on the podcast expressed strong confidence in the idea that the coach has firmly committed to this decision. The statement made by the observer indicated that all signs are pointing to the player being permanently out of the rotation. The observer mentioned that while there could be some adjustments if the team starts to experience a downturn, the core decision to leave this player out of the lineup is likely to remain unchanged, especially considering the athleticism of the opponent. This point became a key talking point when the Warriors faced off against this particular opponent earlier in the season and managed to come out on top. Losing a game is part of the journey, and while there may be room for certain adjustments, it's unlikely that such changes will occur due to the sheer athleticism of the other team. This sentiment was widely shared when the Warriors met that same opponent after securing their spot in the playoffs. With the Warriors positioned as the second seed and their opponent coming in as the seventh seed, there was a general consensus that the player in question would be a crucial asset off the bench, especially given the youth, athleticism, and wingspan of the rival team. However, the coach seemed to have a different approach. During the final regular season game, and even in a high-stakes matchup, it was evident that the coach did not have faith in the player, sparking discussions about the coach's lack of trust in him. There are several factors to consider here, which we'll break down in just a bit. But before we do, I'd love to hear your thoughts on why you think this player seems to have lost the trust of the coach and the team, going from potentially signing a maximum contract to now sitting out multiple games in a row. This is now the third consecutive game that he has not played, and local reports are picking up on the shift in the team's approach. Recently, it was also reported that the signing of a new player made the one-time key contributor appear almost redundant for the Warriors. This player, who has the ability to score between 15 and 20 points per game, has found himself glued to the bench. Looking at his performance against his rival team earlier in the season, he averaged 21 points per game, nearly 7 rebounds, and a few assists while showing solid play on the floor. But it's important to highlight that this was during a different stretch of the season. In earlier matchups with this opponent, he was consistently playing over 30 minutes a game. This was a time when the team relied heavily on him, especially before the arrival of the new player, and when the team had limited talent on the roster. With the addition of a new player, however, things shifted drastically. And now the question is whether the coach's decision to limit this player's time on the court has been the right move. It's becoming more apparent that the coach has less confidence in the player's abilities at this point in the season. At that time, the team was missing key talent, but the arrival of Jimmy Butler changed everything. Many questions arose regarding the absence of Jonathan Kuminga in the matchup against the Rockets, signaling that the coach does not have full faith in him. Analyzing Kuminga's performance after he returned from an ankle injury on March 13th, it became evident that there was a noticeable decline in his play. This decline can be attributed to his struggles to find chemistry with Jimmy Butler. I'll soon share some statistics that support this argument. It's clear that Butler's presence has had a significant impact on the overall performance of the team. After Butler's trade, the Warriors faced 2 losses between his arrival and March 10th, just before Kuminga's return. Despite those setbacks, the team outperformed their opponents significantly during that stretch. In one of those matchups against Philadelphia, Butler had to leave early due to a back issue, but the Warriors still managed to play at a high level. Once Kuminga returned, the Warriors won a few more games, but then encountered a setback against Denver, where they were missing key players. Denver's opponents showed their strengths, exposing the Warriors' vulnerabilities against more agile wing players, something Kuminga was expected to excel at defensively. However, it's become increasingly clear that having both Jimmy Butler and Kuminga on the floor at the same time is simply not a viable option. This is critical for the Warriors, particularly when their star is off the court. When Butler is on the floor, the team has an impressive net rating of 10.2, which is remarkable. Their offensive rating stands at 120, while their defensive rating is at 110, yielding a net rating of 10.2, an exceptional statistic. In contrast, when Kuminga plays, the team's net rating drops to just 4.5, signaling a significant decrease in overall performance. This has been a key message from the coach, and it highlights the fact that these two players do not complement each other's play effectively. The offensive rating remains high when Butler is in, but when Kuminga is on the floor, his presence has been underwhelming, with the team's net rating taking a significant hit. This illustrates why the coach has made the decision to limit Kuminga's minutes, and it shows that these two players simply don't fit together in the Warriors' current structure. Kuminga is a player who thrives when he has the ball in his hands, but his shooting efficiency, particularly from mid-range and three-point range, has been inconsistent. Since returning from his ankle injury, his three-point shooting percentage has fallen below 20%, hovering around 17%. In a team like the Warriors, who rely heavily on perimeter shooting, it's crucial to have players who can consistently make those shots. Currently, the team has players like Ye Santos and another teammate who has been hitting around 50% of his three-pointers over the past month. These are the players that both the coach and the team can rely on. Recognizing that one of their most skilled athletes doesn't fit into the current structure is a tough decision, but it's a wise one. It takes courage to make such a call, but we have to trust that the coach knows what he's doing. With 4 championships under his belt and a track record of over 100 playoff victories, he's among the elite coaches in NBA history. He has a deep understanding of the playoffs and matchups, which is why his decision to limit Kuminga's role should be trusted. Of course, that doesn't mean every decision is flawless. There's room to question whether the coach has stunted Kuminga's growth over the years. But when it comes to playoff strategy, the coach's expertise is undeniable. We'll have to keep an eye on how this situation unfolds, but it seems likely that Kuminga will continue to be on the bench until the team needs him. As the season progresses, the Warriors coaching staff has been faced with a number of difficult decisions, each one under intense scrutiny. The choice to bench Jonathan Kuminga, a former top draft pick, is no exception. The idea of limiting his role has drawn its share of criticism, particularly from fans and analysts who were once high on his potential. There's no denying that Kuminga's athleticism and versatility make him a tantalizing prospect. Yet, as we've seen throughout the season, the Warriors system is one that thrives on a high level of shooting efficiency and positional versatility, 2 areas where Kuminga has struggled to consistently contribute. Since his return from injury, Kuminga has shown flashes of the talent that made him such a promising player when he first entered the league. His defense, especially against athletic wings, has been a highlight. However, the lack of improvement in his shooting has been a major stumbling block. Over the last month, his shooting efficiency has dropped significantly, especially from beyond the arc, where he's struggling to hit shots at a respectable rate. This is a major issue for a Warriors team that has always prided itself on spacing the floor and shooting the 3 ball at a high rate. The team's reliance on the long-range shot has only increased as the season has worn on, making it all the more important for every player to be able to contribute offensively. Now, Kuminga's difficulties with shooting are exacerbated by his lack of consistency. At times, he appears to be on the verge of breaking through, only to follow up with a performance that is far less impactful. His inability to find a rhythm, particularly from the mid-range and three-point line, has left the Warriors with little choice but to reduce his role. It's a tough pill to swallow for someone with so much potential, but the Warriors have made it clear that they need production now, not in the future. With their championship window still open, the team can't afford to wait for players to develop at a slower pace. This is a team built to win now, and the coaching staff has made the pragmatic decision to prioritize immediate results over long-term development. In many ways, this move signals the Warriors' shift in focus. They've long been known for their emphasis on player development, but as their core players continue to age, the team is now looking for veteran stability and proven performers. The addition of a player like Jimmy Butler speaks volumes about the team's current mindset. Butler's ability to contribute in a variety of ways, whether as a scorer, playmaker, or defender, gives the Warriors a level of flexibility they haven't had in recent seasons. Butler brings the kind of experience and leadership that the team can rely on in high-pressure situations. His presence on the floor allows the Warriors to deploy their best players in positions where they can have the most impact. This shift also represents a change in the way the Warriors view their future. While they've always been a team focused on maximizing the potential of their draft picks, it's clear now that the emphasis has shifted. The team is no longer in the business of developing projects like Kuminga. Instead, they are looking for players who can step in and contribute immediately. The trade for Butler was a clear signal that the Warriors are going all in on the present, and with that comes the recognition that some of their younger players may not fit into their long-term vision. It's a tough reality for someone like Kuminga, who was once seen as the future of the franchise, but it's also a reality that the team has had to come to terms with. In a way, this situation mirrors the career trajectories of players like Jordan Poole, who has struggled to find consistency at times, but has been crucial in moments of need. While Poole's future with the team remains uncertain, his ability to step up in the postseason has made him a key asset, at least in the short term. As for Kuminga, the benching has forced him to confront some hard truths. While he may still be considered a highly talented player by many, the Warriors system is not one that allows for players to work through their struggles at the expense of team success. The team needs players who can produce at a high level now, and Kuminga's inconsistency has put him in a difficult position. Whether he can adapt to the bench role or find a way to improve his shooting remains to be seen. The coming weeks will likely be a critical period in Kuminga's development, as he must either adjust to the new role he's been given or risk further marginalization within the rotation. It's clear that the Warriors are positioning themselves for a deep playoff run. They've made the necessary moves to bolster their roster, adding players who can make an immediate impact. As they approach the postseason, every decision will be crucial. The coaching staff will need to make adjustments on the fly, ensuring that the team remains flexible and adaptable in the face of tough matchups. The loss of a player like Kuminga, even if temporary, will not be an easy one to bear. His absence from the rotation leaves a gap in the team's depth, particularly when it comes to defense and athleticism. However, the Warriors have always been a team that finds ways to make it work. Whether through the strength of their core players or by finding new contributors, the Warriors have consistently proven that they can thrive under pressure. The ultimate test will come in the postseason, where every game matters and every decision is amplified. The coaching staff will have to make the right calls on rotations, matchups, and game plans, all while keeping the team focused and healthy. The absence of Kuminga from the rotation might seem like a setback in the short term, but in the long run, it could prove to be a necessary move for the team's success. With so much on the line, the Warriors can't afford to carry any dead weight. The decision to limit Kuminga's role may hurt now, but if it helps the team reach its ultimate goal, another championship, it will have been the right call. Only time will tell if this move pays off. But for now, the Warriors have shown they are willing to make tough decisions in order to maximize their chances of success. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a move that is sending shockwaves throughout the NBA, Nikola Jokić has arrived at the Golden State Warriors headquarters to sign a 4-year contract, marking one of the most surprising transfers in recent league history. The Serbian superstar, widely regarded as one of the most unique and dominant big men the game has ever seen, is set to join a franchise already steeped in recent championship glory. His arrival signals a new era for the Warriors, who are looking to bounce back to title contention after a series of inconsistent seasons. Jokic's decision to leave the Denver Nuggets, the team where he blossomed into a two-time MVP and NBA champion, will undoubtedly leave fans in Colorado stunned. Known for his exceptional court vision, elite passing, and unselfish style of play, Jokic has redefined the center position in modern basketball. His presence alongside Stephen Curry, assuming the veteran guard remains with the team, could create one of the most formidable offensive duos in the league. Sources close to the negotiation suggest the Warriors offered Jokic a 4-year deal, with the promise of building a roster tailored to his skill set. The franchise is expected to shift its focus to a more inside-out style of play, using Jokic's ability to facilitate the offense from the post and high elbow. His signing may also be a signal that the Warriors are preparing to phase into a new identity, one that maintains their trademark ball movement but adds a heavy dose of size, intelligence, and post dominance. Warriors fans gathered outside the Chase Center were ecstatic, chanting the big man's name as he arrived. For Jokic, this move represents not just a new challenge, but the next chapter in what has already been a Hall of Fame-worthy career. While many will question his decision to leave a team he built into a contender, the opportunity to lead a new dynasty in the Bay Area could prove too tempting to resist. One thing is certain, the NBA landscape just shifted and all eyes will now turn to Golden State. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.